Hi dancers. Relative energy deficiency in sport. Can you say that 3 times fast? Relative energy deficiency in sport. Relative energy deficiency in sport. Relative energy deficiency in sport. No wonder they call it Red S. Well, previously this was actually called the female athlete triad. And today I want to break it down for you. Red S encompasses a syndrome that results from low energy availability. And what does that even mean? Well, if calories are our body's best source of energy, then low energy availability basically means there's not enough calories to go around. So there's not enough calories to fuel both your physical activity, such as your dancing, and your metabolic activity, such as the inner workings of your body, like respiration, blood circulation, building hormones, and building muscle. Low-calorie diets are one culprit for the energy shortage, but so is excessive exercise, and sometimes we see this without even realizing it. Hint, summer intensive season. Simply put, if you're not eating enough to support your dancing and your metabolic needs, you're going to be at risk for developing Red S. So what exactly happens when we develop Red S? Well, if you're not fueling your body adequately, you're still able to push through your dance classes, your rehearsals, and your performances. Your body is able to push through that physical activity, but that's going to happen at a major cost. What's your body going to do? It's going to mute or dim other metabolic processes that aren't really needed for your individual immediate survival. And the big process here is reproduction. Now, hormone production, such as estrogen in females and testosterone in males, therefore decreases. Now, these hormones don't only play roles in reproduction, but also play a major role in building strong bones. So when we don't have enough of them, what do we risk? Weak bones. And what does that look like? Injury. So have you ever had to sit out from petit allegro because you're suffering from a stress fracture? Well, then you're really going to want to consider reaching out to a medical professional who can better identify the potential risk. Now, the reason for the name change from female athlete triad to relative energy deficiency in sport is simply because over the years, clinicians realized that these hormonal imbalances weren't just apparent in females, but also males, hence the lack of testosterone. It's just easier to identify in females, solely because the biggest symptom is a missing period, specifically for 3 or more months. But I can't stress it enough, male dancers are also at risk. And that's why if you're concerned, you'll want to reach out to a medical professional who can do some appropriate blood work to better identify where your risk is. Now, unfortunately, bone loss is not the only consequence of Red S. There's actually a ton, including decreased training response, impaired judgment, decreased muscle strength, depression, irritability, lack of concentration, decreased coordination. So when we're talking about low-calorie diets, there's a lot to sacrifice there, and all of these parameters have direct impacts on your performance. So why should dancers be concerned? For starters, although the industry is trying to change, there's unfortunately a great deal of companies and schools out there that still abide to old, antiquated standards and body ideals. And thus, a lot of dancers may still feel pressure to maintain a certain weight despite the health consequences. So let's discuss 3 specific actionable tips that you can take to prevent the onset of Red S. Number 1, eat enough. A dancer's diet should focus on both abundance and variety. Aim for at least 3 meals and 2 snacks throughout your day, though, in all honesty, this can truly vary depending on your personal schedule. And if you're having trouble finding time, then you're going to want to pack convenient and easy snacks like bars, nuts, seeds, fruit, nut butters. And if you really are having a hard time, well, then you might want to reconsider your priorities. If you're at risk for bone-related injuries and or burnout because of Red S, then you might want to consider taking some time off, which brings me into my second tip, rest. As I said earlier, excessive exercise is another reason for that energy shortage. So reducing your amount of exercise, which I know can be really tough for a dancer, especially if your rehearsal and your performance schedule doesn't really lend to it, you really want to consider your priorities. Rest is essential for muscle recovery. So not only do you want to make sure that you're getting an adequate night's sleep, but you also want to make sure that you're taking breaks throughout your training and throughout your day to promote that recovery. And last, tip number 3, seek a professional. First, a medical doctor can perform some appropriate tests, such as blood work and/or a bone scan, to help better assess where you stand in regards to your risks for injury. A registered dietitian nutritionist like myself can work with you to build a plan to make sure that you really are meeting your calorie and macronutrient needs for your dancing. And most often, I find that when clients come to me, they're severely undereating without even realizing it. And last, there's many great resources that I'm going to link to below and in my article that you can refer to learn more about RED-S and the consequences of low energy availability. Most importantly is that you build a meal plan that supports both of your dancing and your metabolic needs. That way you can have a successful long-term career without having to sit out during petit allegro performances or whatever. I want you guys to have a successful long career that is injury-free. If you liked this video, then subscribe and check out The Healthy Dancer, which is a 6-week online training program specifically designed to help you build a lifestyle that is both free of food restrictions and promoting a long-term career. Can't wait to see you there.